So, good morning, everybody out there on Facebook land. So, this book, The Evolution of the Julie Juice Protocol, it's the thinnest book you'll ever read. This is all what it takes to live indefinitely in our society. Do you know this is like probably a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what the medical journals have out there? I mean, seriously, when you go through, what is it, 10 years of medical school or 5 years or 8 years, I don't know how long medical school is. You go through medical school, you go through volumes and volumes and volumes of journals, medical journals, and this is the Julie Juice Protocol. This is what it takes to reverse all cancer disease, chronic illness, indefinite life, reversing the aging process. I mean, what the F? WTF? How is the Julie Juice Protocol like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what's in those medical journals? Well, yeah, because even the makeup of the human body, I have in it's in a table. Let's see if I can even find it. The makeup of the human body. Here it is. I talk about all the 12 different systems, because I do mention instead of 11, 12, because it's male and female, right? But I even do system functions. Okay? I even put down system functions. And you'd think that it would take, it would be like a thicker book than this. But you don't need to know every single component of the system functions. You just know that there's proteins. Here's the thing. There is the microbiome. There's the chemistry, the biochemistry, right? There's the elements. And I break down the microbiome and tell you exactly what the benefits are. And then, of course, what infection is the imbalances in the microbiome. And what's infectious? The antibodies. Okay, so there's still people out there. There are still people out there that still want to discriminate against the microbiome. Whether they're vegan or vegetarian, they want to discriminate against the elements and the periodic tables, and that's all part of the allopathic holistic industry. That's all part of it. Okay, discrimination is huge in the mainstream medical holistic world. Discrimination is so huge, it's insane. Now, we understand people do have major anaphylactic allergies, and that's fine. If you have an anaphylactic allergy, a clinical diagnosis of an anaphylactic allergy, fine. Stay away from that specific food. Oh, but then they're saying, like, yeah, fermentation was not recommended to me because of histamine, and that's when I'm like, you know what? I can't help you. If you can't handle the fact that probiotics and nutrition out of the cabbage and kale and the salts and the water and all of that and electrolytes, if you can't handle basic nutrition, okay, I can't help you. So if someone tries to claim histamine reactions to me as far as fermentation, you can go back to the system. I'm not trying to convince you. I don't care. That's your choice. So anyways, but anaphylactic, clinical diagnosis, peanut allergies, obviously just stay away from those specific things, okay? And then do the J juice, and then eventually, yes. And so somebody asked me about mushrooms the other day, and she's talking to me like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why the hell I was up at 3 o'clock, but I was. I told her to finally get the book, because there's some of you that will be a vegan and vegetarian, think that meat is what causes all these parasite stuff. No. Parasites are part of your microbiome. And in this book, I talk about the microbiome in this book. Okay, in this book, I break down the parasites, the viruses, the parasites, the protozoa, proteins, fungus and bacteria. Yes, mushrooms, different types of mushrooms are a fungi. Now, obviously, would you go in your garden and eat a mushroom in your garden? Hell freaking no. Okay, that's why you have the FDA, because there are people that are that not very informed that will eat everything out there in the wild and not know what is poisonous, what is not. Okay, I'm not gonna go eat red berries off a bush, because there's pyracantha berries. There's so many different berries out there that not all of them are edible. A little common sense has to come into play. There are mushrooms that are edible, and there are mushrooms that are not edible because they're psychedelic. Okay, that's why they make some of these shrooms out there, some kind of Schedule 1, Schedule 2, whatever drug, because some of them are psychedelic. Some of them have a lot of properties that mess with your biochemistry, mess with your brain. Okay, so when you go to the grocery store, most likely they're not going to sell you psychedelic mushrooms in the grocery aisle. I can assure you that. They're not going to sell you drugs in the grocery aisle. So when you go to a grocery store, and whatever, and if you're in some exotic food market, well, I can't help you there either. Then you Google what those mushrooms are, and you Google if they're FDA approved or what the properties are. Okay, so it's like, you have in your microbiome viruses, parasites, protozoa, protein, fungus, that's yeast, bacteria, of course, chaga mushroom, of course, button mushrooms, of course, shiitake mushrooms. All the different mushrooms that are in your grocery aisle are going to be fine. Fungus is not inherently bad. Fungus is never really bad. It's just the fact that where it's growing and why. And then you go look and see what your government agency has put out there as far as what safety is. You can't just discount government because it suits you for this moment in time. You got to learn how to use your whole access to resources to understand how your world works. Some of you are still stuck in the conspiracy world, still stuck in the religious world. I understand some religious belief systems out there are so against meat, or they're against pig. They're like, oh, all the parasites in the pig. Do you know the microbiome in your body, mind, and spirit is made up of viruses, parasites, protozoa, proteins, fungus, and bacteria? You're never going to get rid of your microbiome. You are your microbiome. You are full of parasites. But if you have too many, you get parasitic infections. You are full of viruses. You are full of protozoas, proteins. You're full of fungus, and you're full of bacteria. That's what's in the J juice. It's bacteria. It's like a billion little stomachs gobbling up all your food and breaking it down. Just like a bunch of worms. You go look at a bunch of worms in the backyard. Like I saw a picture on Facebook of a big, huge worm. And I'm imagining that worm going through and processing that garden and breaking it down to where the person is so rich with fertilization, so rich with nutrients and minerals and all the different aspects of what those earthworms do. Earthworms are like the best thing out there. Not that I want to touch them. Believe me, I don't like touching them. I don't like going fishing with them. My husband does all. If I go fishing, my husband does the stuff with the worms. I don't touch the worms or the whatever. Nuh-uh. Maybe I'll use the fly stuff, or what do you call it? The electronic worms, or what do we call those things that you put at the end, and then like when you do bass fishing. But worms, parasites help your body adapt to the conditions. If you have a lot more parasites in your body because you have stagnation in your colon, somebody's got to process that food that you're not processing. When you have stagnation in your body, mind, and spirit, guess what? Your body releases some kind of chemical that attracts the parasites that will take up residence in your body. And then they'll help you adapt and metabolize the food that you're not digesting. So that's why there's all this fear around parasites, because people are stagnated in their colon and lymph nodes, and why some people have a lot more parasites than other people, because they have to metabolize all that and process all of that crap that's in their body. So that's why, yes, when you do the J juice and you're full of parasites because you've seen them before, you've done your parasite cleanses, you're going to see a bunch of stuff come out of your body. Well, yeah, but they've kept you alive. They're not something to hate. There should be nobody discriminate against anything in the microbiome. When you discriminate against the microbiome, against viruses, something to kill, as parasites, something to kill, they naturally just wash away when the body doesn't need them anymore. Not because you're intending to kill them, because they need a host. You're the host. If you're intending to kill a parasite or a virus or a protozoa or a protein or a fungus or a bacteria, you are intending to kill the host because you are the host. The reason why they're attracted to you, because you've allowed it to happen. Now, you should have a few of them in your body, but not a bunch. How do I know how much to do? It doesn't even matter. When you do the J juice and you are finally reversing all of your cancer disease, chronic illness, and aging, all of that, you're not going to wonder how many parasites are still in your body. It's not going to make a difference. You're not going to care. The fact that you're able to get up every morning and you poop every morning, you take a shower, the fact that you're able to do all these different things is a testament to the fact that you've kept your microbiome, which is full of viruses, parasites, protozoa, proteins, fungus, and bacteria. A nice balance of a microbiome. And that's why Jade juice is so amazing, because it's a nice balance of the microbiome. And so, yeah, when I had the COVID with that 6-day freaking headache, I was eating meat, and I ate meat towards the end of it, and it totally helped. Okay? When people are discriminating against meat and milk and fish and all that, like we did in the beginning, because we were taking cues from the holistic industry, we were destroying ourselves by not feeding our body correctly. If you feel that there's any food that's really giving you a hard time, it's because you probably need it and your body's trying to heal with that food. But I understand. Sometimes you have to just, do trade-offs. You do Jade juice because that's going to bring up the healing process. Well, so are the foods that you're allergic to or are giving you inflammation, but you still got to do Jade juice. No matter what, you're going to have to feel pain. There is no way around it. There's no way around not dealing with your predispositions. Okay? So that's why in this book, which is like thinner than any medical journal, this is what keeps people alive. This is what it takes to keep people alive. It's this freaking thin. This is no freaking medical school. This is no compartmentalize your body parts and sell them off to the highest bidder, commodifying them. No, this is what keeps people alive. No food discrimination. You got to deal with your predispositions. You got to face them head on. No different than, when you have a problem with somebody, you either sweep it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist, and then it turns into something bigger, or you face it head on. You get the cards on the table, and then you make a decision. You stay or you part ways. That's what it comes down to. So the Jade juice is either put up or shut up. But you don't need a volume. I wish I had a John Hopkins volume of books to show you the difference of what it takes to keep somebody alive indefinitely. And then I talk about the antediluvian era and the salt and the amount of the expansion of your blood vessels, so you can take in more. You can take in blood, go into areas that are dead, and then take in more oxygen. As far as the pressure outside, well, the pressure was far greater back then. I think it was hot. It was hot back then. So there are some places on the planet where it's really, really hot. But, I don't know. I'm sure out there scientists who finally discovered jelly juice will do their experiments as far as the atmosphere and the climate and the geographical difference on people who are developing faster in a higher pressure area, just like I said back in the Cretaceous period, with more oxygen. It's if they were to actually create a biodome with more oxygen, 35%, oxygen instead of 21%, and then a higher pressure. And then all of a sudden you start seeing giants again. Maybe they'll have it in their Jurassic Park in a big, huge biodome. Let me give the science world some ideas. Okay? But yeah, discrimination. If you discriminate in your microbiome and you're trying to demonize elements in your body and demonize your microbiome, and then you're demonizing food, then you're going to demonize and you're going to be discriminatory against people, places, and things. It's only natural. Discrimination doesn't just stay in like one little context. If you're discriminatory in one context, like food, then you'll be discriminatory in religion. You'll be discriminatory in so many other things, and not because of somebody being harmful. It'll be the fact that they have a different color skin, or they have a belief system that this, and this, and it's not that they've done anything to you. It's just that they happen to wear these colors, or they happen to look a certain way, or they happen to say, hey, I don't wear a mask. Oh, I'm telling you, this whole thing with the masks, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's such a trip. The people who need to wear masks are the ones that need the vaccines. The people that are not really totally needing the vaccines, okay, which are a few people that I know I don't need a vaccine. If I feel I need to get one, if it's mandatory, well, I won't feel I need to get one. But if it's mandatory, I'll get one. I have no problem with that. But I've been exposed to the COVID. I've been to different gatherings. I've been to the grocery market. I've been everywhere. I don't wear a mask. I have no problem taking on my environment and dealing with it. Okay? But if you're that vulnerable, guess why they do the whole lockdown, social distancing, wearing masks, don't go anywhere unless you have to. The reason why is is it helps you transition by not getting so much of a deluge at once. You get it little by little. But hey, I don't mind getting, you know, all the different spores. I went to the hospital when someone had a heart attack back in February. And that's probably where I got a lot of my different symptoms that I was like, wow, I'm feeling something. There's something going on in the atmosphere. Okay? I spent 12 hours in a hospital. So I don't mind spending 12 hours in a place where there's so many sick people. Because guess what? That's an upgrade to me because that's a new environment that I'm going to have to eventually transition to. So those of you who are weaker and you're elderly and you're weaker and you have issues, stop going to places wearing a freaking mask. Okay? Because yeah, wear a mask if you want to go to the grocery store, but I see people going out, they're weak and they have issues and they are in, you know, they're shopping for all their fun stuff. They're hanging out with their friends and family. They're totally not doing social distancing. They're going out to eat. They're doing all this social stuff and they're weak and they say they're weak and they expect everyone else out there to wear a mask. Wear a mask, yes, but only go grocery shopping. Only take care of the most needed things and then stay your ass home if you're that weak. But those that are strong and are wearing masks are also going out as much as you are who is weak. So you have the weak and the strong wearing masks together, communing, hanging out together. You think at some point the weak person is not going to contract? Of course they're going to contract the stupid virus. Of course they are. It's inevitable when you look at the statistically how often you're out will be then a statistical higher probability you're going to get affected by the COVID. You realize that I don't wear a mask, but I hardly ever go out. I don't put myself in needless situations. I don't go visit people needlessly. Okay? I mean, at this point, until this COVID's done with and everyone stops freaking the hell out, I'm fine staying at home and not hanging out with other people. I'm okay with that. But no. Those that want to go out and don't want to be locked down and they're weak, well, they don't want to take responsibility for themselves, so they legislate more else. Well, that's okay. I've chosen not to go out. And they're already doing lockdowns now for the beaches and everything else. But I've chosen not to go out as much. I only go to the grocery store when I absolutely have to. That's it. And maybe I'll go to Starbucks. But I don't go there every day. I work from home. I do my Facebook Lives. I watch my videos. Maybe I'll talk to someone on the phone if I want to. But do I need to go and hang out with them? Maybe I'll go fishing with my husband. Maybe I'll go to a friend's house that already's been through, or they're very, very strong and they've been through it, and I can't just not go. Believe me, I have obligations to people that if I were to say I can't go because of this, you know, it would risk friendships. It's not that would be something that they would just, you know, but it's like this. Am I going to stop my life in that direction? I mean, when it comes to somebody else, okay? If somebody else, you know, is inviting me to something that they want to have happen and they're not concerned about it, then neither am I. Everyone has a choice to go to an event or not go to an event. If they're that weak, then don't go to the event. Okay? And so, you know, it's so interesting. So yeah, so there's people who discriminate against people who don't wear masks, but they're also discriminating against other things. Do I care if you wear a mask? I don't care. If I go into a place where they have requirement for a mask, like I've been to like a haircut place for my husband. They said to wear a mask, so I wore a mask. But I didn't wear it correctly. I had it kind of off my nose. And I'm a nose breather. I'm not a mouth breather. So I had it right under my nose, just covered my mouth, and that was it. So can you even control someone who wears a mask, who's supposed to wear a mask, has to wear a mask? Can you control them wearing it correctly? Whatever correctly is nowadays. It's bullshit. It's all stupid. So whatever. But anyway, so oh lordy, this world is insane. This world's crazy. You know, I don't care if I stay home for the next 20 years until all the weak people in our society pass away. I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But that's kind of where we're going. We have 7 billion people, but they said, you know, hey, you know, America2050.org, they're going to be creating these human habitation zones. Well, it's hard to do human habitation zones when we have 300 million people here in America. So yeah, you're going to have to cut down a significant percentage of the population to have human habitation zones. And at this point with the COVID, yeah, that's going to be a natural selection. That's Darwinism. The weak are not going to survive. The weak are not. Yeah, you might get a stay of execution with the vaccine. Yeah, you might get a stay of execution with some procedure that's not jelly juice. This is what creates longevity. This is what gets you over the COVID, and this is what gets you over all the different crazy cancers. This is what gets you over the aging process. See how thin this book is? It doesn't take much to keep a human alive, but it takes a lot to kill off humans, but make them think that they're alive. And that's in the volumes out there in the holistic, allopathic, naturopathic world. But to keep a human alive, it doesn't take but 98 pages to keep a human alive. That's the beauty of J Juice. It almost like, when I first got this book, I was like, oh my God. I mean, even me, it strikes me as weird. Like, I'm so, like, what? That's all this is? That's all there is? What? Yeah, that's all there is. Now, how imbalances manifest in the populations, like macro level revolutions and micro level revolutions, my next book will be bigger because it's going to talk about all the imbalances and how it manifests in our society. And that's all the diversity. All the diversity in our society is how man has figured out how to make you think that they're prolonging your life by shortening your life. But hey, you know, people are living longer. But they're dying. They're not living longer. They're dying longer. People are actually living less quality life, but they're dying a longer, non-quality life because they're full of fear, they're full of angst, they're full of discrimination, they're full of vinegar. It's insane how you look at it, but it's all in how you look at it, and it's all in how you sell it. And I'm telling you, the medical holistic system, they are very good at selling stuff, but they have to. It's what you guys want. You're in the middle, you're in the death throes, and you're wanting someone to save you. And just because you're at, 60% capacity and can afford to be at 50% capacity, you think that's life. Okay, when someone has a heart attack and a stroke, or they have a very fast-moving cancer, if they did the J Juice, they could actually prolong their life longer than whatever remedies and whatever procedures that are out there. Yeah, they have to face their pain. Yeah, okay, yeah, you do a triple bypass, quadruple bypass. You take out organs. Yeah, okay, you can buy yourself maybe 5, 10, 20 years, if that. But then you're watching yourself degrade before your very eyes. I mean, look at the people that have died in our society, what they look like at the end of their life. They're nothing but skin and bones. They look like the crypt keepers from the vampire movies. That's what aging is in our society, is watching people die before your very eyes. And then this brings back people to life, not from the dead, but when you are on that death trajectory and you're going very fast, this could potentially reverse that if you understand that this is life. And it's not very big. It doesn't take much to keep a human alive. But it definitely takes a lot to destroy humans and make them think that they're being kept alive. Oh, it takes a lot of marketing. It takes a lot of psychological marketing. It takes psychotherapy. It takes psychiatry. It takes oncology. It takes, oh my God. Go look at the subject matters. It takes chemistry. Go look at a college syllabus and you can see what it takes to brainwash people and compartmentalize their brain to think that it's okay to die. That's my beef with the university system. That's my beef. It's the fact they compartmentalize everything and then kids are brainwashed to think that it's okay to hurt other people and to die. And it's just all part of life. That's my beef with the university system. So I'm attempting with my next book, it's going to be the primer for people before they put their kids into college or even after. This is what the college system did to me. This is what the college system did to you. Because if you didn't go to college, you listened to someone who went to college, who has turned people into these zombies out there that believe everything with hook, line, and sinker. I'm not watching CNN and they're all about the masks. I'm like, what about the people who are weak? What about the people who, who should stay home? But they do say that, but they say everyone should wear a mask. Well, if you want everyone to wear a mask, then you might as well put everybody on lockdown. Because, yeah, when you're running with a mask, but here's the thing, yeah, if they say wear a mask and you go outside and you're out there, and they say you have to wear a mask and you're out there, well, that's your own fault too. So in a lot of ways, if you're putting yourself out there on a daily basis needlessly, and they say you have to wear a mask, well, that's your choice. You want to go out there. I will go only to Walmart, maybe to Starbucks once every couple weeks. And I'm in there and out of there probably in less than an hour. I go in there, do my thing. I have no reason to go to the movies. I got Netflix. I have no reason to go and hang out with a bunch of people. What do? They drink anyways. There's hardly anyone around me that I'm willing to hang out with that would talk with me on a basis where it's like, okay, understanding where I'm coming from. There's not a lot of people that my husband will hear me and listen to me, but I watch his CB radio stuff. So there's really no one in my world here that I'm going to go and visit unless there's some kind of theme like drinking or maybe going to visit to a place, but everything is locked down now. So there really isn't even that. So what I do, I stay home and I'm okay with that. I can entertain myself. I have no problem with that. Okay. So it's like, so if you decide to go out there all the time and they say you have to wear a mask, that's your own freaking choice. If you're going to go running out there knowing that you have to wear a mask, that's your own freaking choice. You shouldn't be running anyways. Exercise is really destroying you anyways. When we're on the J juice, I say chill out on the exercise, let your body heal. And then if you want to morph your body or I don't know, make it all cut, but you know how to replenish and regenerate, then wait till you're healed and then go and take care of those things, you get a 6-pack or whatever, but you know how to heal from that. So yeah, so if a person's running around with having to wear a mask and they're all pissed off at like those Floridians that were going talking to the council and they're like, oh my God, you're killing humanity. Well, stop going out and hanging out with people. Stop doing that. If you don't want to wear a mask and it's required, then stay freaking home. Stay home. Oh, but I can't stay home. What would I do at home? Oh, I don't know. Read a freaking book? Do the chili juice? Watch a few movies? Write out your autobiography? Do something productive for the world aside from drinking and doing drugs and being a complete, whatever. Maybe we need to reconfigure our purpose. Okay, maybe our purpose is to look within and rebuild our body inside and our mind and our spirit and maybe contribute to the world in a different way that isn't all about, oh God, the superficial things in life. Maybe that we need to have a deeper meaning in our life, not just all the crappy superficial crap. So yeah, if you are having an issue with wearing a mask out there and you're always going out, then that's your own problem. If you're wearing a mask out there all the time, you're like, oh yeah, I'm everyone should wear a mask, and you're going out everywhere. Well, you're creating the problem because you're passing the virus around everywhere. Masks are not 100%, so you're contributing to the problem too. Okay, so it's interesting that the politics around masks are no different than the politics around vaccines, the politics around everything. There's no difference. So I don't know. I mean, I find it. Yeah, I was talking to my mother like a couple months back when this first came out, and I told her way back when. I don't really talk to her now, but I told her way back in the beginning, like around March or April, that she needs to stay home because she can't afford. She's like, oh no, she has like an N95 mask, I guess. And she's like, well, I'm not going to stay home. I can't stay home. And she has a lot of predispositions. She's elderly, over 75. So, I mean, if you're over 75 and you have predispositions and you're wearing a mask too, well, it's your own fault if you contract any virus out there because someone doesn't want to wear a mask with it, which is within their right. So, it's like, yeah, if you can't put yourself and restrain yourself, knowing that there's a virus out there that you can't stop. You can't stop these viruses. No mask is going to protect you. Then you need to put your ass home and transition slowly into the environment. Slowly. And if you have an issue staying at home, then you have an issue with being with yourself. If you have an issue staying at home, then you have an issue being with yourself. Sometimes I just will not do Facebook Live. You know, maybe I'll watch some videos. I mean, I spent a lot of time on my own as a child as well as a young adult, a lot. So I've been very comfortable. I've been to the movies by myself too. I've been very comfortable on my own. I don't need to have a lot of people around me. I really don't. And sometimes I'd rather not prefer it because you're getting so much drama from other people. A lot of drama from other people. So the less people you really interact with, the more you get to know yourself because you're not being influenced by somebody else's ideas and thought processes. Yeah, you can have friends, yes, and they'll have their ideas, but they're not always in your ear 24/7 telling you how to live, telling you how to do, telling you, what to believe or where to go or who to date or whatever. I find it rather cumbersome to have a best friend. My husband is my best friend, and even then, he's a little much for me sometimes. I gotta have a break. Okay? So, this whole social distancing, staying home, lockdown, if they're forcing you to wear a mask, then stay at home if you don't want to wear a mask and get to know yourself. If you think everyone out there should wear a mask and you're out there, and you're out there wearing a mask and you're also have comorbidities and everything else, well, you're spreading the virus around with your 90% going out, even with the mask, going out, go hiking and swimming and who knows what the hell people are doing. But I see people on my Facebook who are very critical, people who don't wear masks, who are showing their faces that they're him and their kids are wearing masks and they're all out doing whatever. And you're spreading the virus around just as much as a person who is out without wearing a mask on a daily basis, not social distancing. Okay? So, it's funny. It's ironic. All these arguments out there in these debates, which means there's nothing fact with these debates. It's ironic. So if it's disputable, if it's debatable, it ain't fact. Your perception is not a fact. Do what works for you. If there's a law, then follow the laws. But if there's no laws, just strong recommendations, then keep yourself at home and get to know yourself. Okay? So have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.